The Sumo arc begins with the long ago flashback fight between the original Sukune and KEHAYA, with Sukune's victory and us cutting to the present. We see Baki participating in speed rock climbing, defeating the champion, then the arrival of a giant who flexes his ability, until Baki reveals who it is, the one and only Nomi no Sukune, who demonstrates his own imagination ability, introducing us to the might of Sumo. We cut to Doppo Orochi having a sparring match with Kato, who he low diffs. Baki then arrives to ask the master about his perspective on Sumo, in which it's revealed that he's been avoiding it, but acknowledging they're strong, and showing a demonstration of Sumo using Kato as a guinea pig for the first showcase, getting Baki so excited that he wants to have a turn as well, also getting stunned by the strength of it, also being the only time Baki and Doppo have really clashed in the whole series. We cut to Sukune, who pulls up on the old man, asking to have some people face him in a contest of strength, having Oliva arrive as his first opponent. The fight begins with Sukune catching his charge and moving him around like a child, until the counter begins with this direct strike and another that is tanked by Sukune's forehead. Leading into the ending, Sukune uses his insane grip strength to grab onto Mr. Unchained's ribs, who tries to break out with a flex but breaks his back in the process. With this being the introduction of the arc, now we have the setup for the up and coming tournament, with Sukune meeting the current day sumo wrestlers and clowning on them, more showings of his imagination with training, and this time a surprise match with Baki, beginning with a direct kick in response to Sukune's charge, leaving this at the end of the chapter. Baki was able to drop him with this kick. The fight continues with Sukune grabbing Baki and trying to slam him to the ground, failing but getting some respect from Baki in the process, who pulls out his Triceratops stance, with both preparing for the climax, having revealed that all the boys are here watching as well. They clash, with Baki trying to slam the big boy this time, who responded in the same way, with this being the end of the fight as the old man now knows Sukune is strong and worthy for what's coming next. I guess him destroying Oliva wasn't really a demonstration of this, unfortunate. Sukune getting flexed on by Goki, of course, Katsumi getting Retsu's arm, and the beginning of the sumo tournament, after of course we get to see Retsu's ghost. These are the matchups, beginning with quite the size difference indeed. The fight starts like most Goki fights, a flex with Aiki, and someone getting put on the ground. Wait, he kinda landed, impressive. Now the counter is next, with Goki dodging and tripping him in the process, but again the sumo boy is barely able to land, and even counter Goki's further follow-up with his own attack, sending the master flying, who's able to make this stylish land. Goki then allows him to land a grapple, in which the sumo boy needs to use all of his strength to overpower the magic of Aiki. Next is Goki landing his grapple and easily overpowering him, but his opponent was able to stay upright and counter, sending Goki flying again, this time into the crowd, with his glass eye being destroyed in the process. Leading into the arrival of enraged Goki, continuing the fight with an attack to his opponent's eye, a stomp from above and a deadly nose slam, and one more on his face, winning the fight and a talk of Doppo before the second round. The karate god himself, Doppo, who's up against Sumo now, this time a much closer size gap, beginning with Doppo landing a fury of blows and a kick that is caught until the next hits, slicing off this sumo wrestler's ear, resulting in rage and Doppo getting headbutted into the edge of the arena, slapped around more until he drops. The next exchange begins with Doppo countering the charge with strikes, but a grapple is used in response, taking out one of Doppo's arms. It continues with another headbutt and an attempted stomp that is countered with Doppo finishing the fight with a kick knocking out his opponent. Up next is Hanayama, who is even bigger than his sumo opponent, throwing of course his iconic punch that lands and destroys Sumo. However, it continues with an exchange of blows that ends with a 2-hit combo from Hanayama, bringing in the third win. Now it's time for Katsumi to showcase what he can do with Retsu's arm, but before that, subscribe if you enjoy Baki content, and if we're able to get 10k likes on this video, this explanation series will continue on the Mysterious Weave channel. This is the face-off. This is Katsumi getting outplayed and his response. This is him getting thrown after, then something weird. Katsumi's new arm moved on its own, being able to drop the sumo wrestler. Chinese Kenpo is taking over Katsumi, As such, it's fitting to pull out Retsu's stance, allowing him to dominate Sumo, but the Sumo boy needs to win at this point as they're currently 3 wins down, forcing out a crushing headbutt, but not being able to finish Katsumi. The final blow from the prodigy is about to land, but he stops and pulls his kick away, walking out of the arena, having Sumo win round 4 due to the rule set. So why was this? Pretty much not wanting to destroy Sumo in such a way with Retsu watching, I guess? Let me know down below. Now it's Baki's turn, with a Yujiro flashback of him demonstrating Sumo to young Baki, pretty cool stuff. Facing the smallest in Sumo, as such, the speed game begins. Baki uses some Sumo imagination to stun his opponent and land a fast jab, dropping him, and then again after he gets up. Then a charge between them, ending with Baki getting thrown and beat up with a slam, continuing with another speed test and Baki landing this kick, and finishing Sumo with a clean knockout. Now the final fight of the tournament, Sumo vs Sumo, getting another look at how gigantic Sukune is, ending the fight very fast with his iconic move. Thus, this is the result of the tournament. Side note, due to world affairs, we needed to get a chapter of Yujiro of course meeting Joe Biden and beating out Trump in the chapter as well, with this occurring in the middle of the tournament. Just Baki things for you. From there, we learn that Yujiro's test levels are so high, he has the right to say, I am male and others are not. As such, Yujiro views everyone as female, and in the past did something to this man that I'm not going to go into detail for. Moving on, we get Sukune's chance to fight Yujiro, beginning with the ogre slamming him, tanking a direct kick and finishing Sukune with this strike. Then the other Sumo boy pulls up on Sukune and attacks, who gets clapped once again, bringing us to the final stretch of the arc, and of course the low-key tease of aliens interesting. Our boy Jack has returned, having a new set of titanium teeth and a martial art, Gao Dao, the way of the biting. He destroys this Giga Dog before facing his true opponent Sukune, tanking his blow and taking one of his fingers, having the fight continue in the underground, with Jack taking one of his traps now. Sukune responds with a direct kick, but Jack landed more damage with his teeth, resulting in more rage from Sukune, with him landing more and various shots on Jack, until the second trap is taken by Jack, who returns with a clean combo, dropping the sumo wrestler, leading us into the climax. They clash with a fury of blows and bites, until Sukune uses everything he has left to slam Jack into the ground, head first, however falls unconscious due to the injuries, and Jack jumps up, claiming the victory, who proceeds to call out the following fighters for a future fight, setting up his own arc. But before that, we cut to Yujiro, who meets the new KEHAYA at the current time. Remember the guy the original Sukune defeated at the beginning, and what Sukune mentioned a few times throughout this arc, namely during his first fight with Baki? Well, this is him who faces Yujiro in a kicking match. Of course, it begins with a flex, until surprisingly KEHAYA was able to kick him through the roof, with Yujiro returning acting like nothing happened and returning the blow, but KEHAYA doesn't return like the ogre did, performing something known as a tactical retreat according to him, meaning his respect is already dying. But now he has a match with Doppo. Perhaps he can recover? No, he doesn't, not at all. Doppo pretty much wins the exchange between a kick and a strike, coming out fine with the next clash as well. KEHAYA also does this, in which Doppo collapses him with a combo. An attempted triangle occurs, which results in Doppo taking both of his ears and finishing the trash. I wish. This is because KEHAYA returns outside of the arena and once again gets clapped, so don't know what the purpose of KEHAYA was in Baki Dou. Yujiro low diffs a harpoon gun that could destroy whales in one chapter. OLIVA returns and pulls up on Sukune for some rehabilitation. Beginning with this uppercut and a counter to Sukune's special attack, partly due to losing one of his fingers from Jack, it continues with OLIVA slamming him and a grip/strength test, forcing Sukune to go for a strike to end it, then some revenge back, followed by the return of the legendary ball technique, which Sukune isn't able to break through. The eating now occurs, failing to swallow the big sumo boy, but the next clash is the end. OLIVA knocks him out with this exchange, I guess rehabilitation is over now. We see Sukune and KEHAYA chilling together for the first time after both of their defeats, with Sukune now calling out Baki, saying he can win in 10 seconds and he hasn't really been trying thus far. So take a guess of what happens next. Pretty much a very casual Baki knocks out Sukune like this, in a grand total of 9 seconds, with this being the end of the arc as the Sumo boys enjoy a feast with Baki after this fight. We do get a few more chapters for setup of the next arc, seeming like it's going to be Jack's time to shine. Baki Dou is now over as well. This was the whole Sumo arc for Baki Dou 2018. I hope you enjoyed.